We begin this episode the way we begin many other episodes.
Objection!
I suppose I asked for that.
We've never began a single episode like this.
I promise the joke is dead until we use the divination seance to pull it back.
We'll just see its final memories. Does that mean you'd repeat the last time you did the joke?
No escape.
We'll never get away from this. We're the Bittersweet Gamers?
I'm We Square.
I'm the Opinionator. So, we haven't even looked at this or thought about it at all. But I am sure appreciating the fact that it doesn't make the emulator choke like it did the first time.
Shh, fourth wall.
Practicalities, what can I say? Okay, so here's our insights. That's the one that was changed. The Song of Ceremony the victim heard was a practice run through the temple speakers.
Yeah, but there isn't really anything here that contradicts it.
Okay, here we have...
He looks at Albie's bag.
Well, still, it doesn't really matter that much because the incense is all we have. The words are the things that we interact with.
That's true, that's true.
Okay, so, I mean, again, I'm assuming he's smelling the incense. Yeah, I'm sure he sees the bag. This is neat. I really do prefer this to the system from Dual Destinies, which I'm sure is going to still be in this because it just seemed ridiculous.
I don't even know how it works.
You don't know Athena. You don't...
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to it then.
I don't know. I may be the only person who doesn't really like her, but I didn't really like her, and I thought...
Nah, the way you described her doesn't make her sound very appealing.
Anyway.
Me talk good.
Enough about Athena. Maybe she'll be better in this game. Sometimes it works that way, you know? I hated Franziska von Karma in the second Ace Attorney game. And then I've really liked her ever since. Mm-hmm. I like her now, but her introduction was terrible, and so, you know, might be
fair
good
enough,
for Athena.
Fair enough.
Here's my foot. Oh, no. Anyway. Now, here we go. So, what exactly is he hearing? We can't see.
Like, the incense doesn't seem like it's important, at least so far.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not at all. It's just there to be distracting. And then playing the thing... And like, look at that. Doesn't it look like he's nodding?
He's swallowing hard.
Okay.
He's like gulping. Like he's nervous.
And why is it that Poe looked at his bag? Well, that probably doesn't matter. See, now they're talking at that point.
Yeah, he's saying something. And then now he just opened his eyes in surprise. Where's the contradiction?
Well, let's see. I mean, that's true.
Wait. His vision went dark before the pain.
Even if that were the case, we can't select it.
We can select pain.
No, we can't.
Really?
Oh, I'll be darned.
You can't select pain. I was going to say. I mean, that seems to be the only contradictory statement here, because he closed his eyes before he got hit.
You know, I suppose you're right, but wasn't this present at the last one?
Well, that may be the case, but maybe that...
No game has ever worked that way.
Okay, I see
where
what
you
you're
can
saying.
Alternate between the ones that you want.
Yeah, all right, I see what you're saying. Well,
and besides, what's really different about that? What we need to do is look at the evidence and look at what we know.
Okay. Well, then it should be a follow-up to this then, right?
I mean, it's the one that changed.
That's true.
The Song of Ceremony the victim heard was a practice run through the temple speakers. So let's look at our stuff.
Okay.
I know this is going to come up, right?
Yeah, well, it has to.
But not so far. I mean, it sure looks like Albie's whacking him.
But, like, his arms don't come down. Whatever he's holding is still really far above his head.
Well, I mean, he does
Surely
close
if he
his
clubbed
eyes
him from
before
the front.
Well, he closed his eyes before he... Hey, wait, you know, that's a good point. That's on top, and then it's... Maybe we need to start looking at this.
And why is his hand bloody? Oh, he got clubbed in the top of the head, put his hand up there in surprise, and that's how it got bloody. Base of the stairs to the altar.
But we don't need to worry about those details here. We need to worry about...
Well, right, I was just seeing if maybe there's something... And the boy's voice got louder.
So yeah, would it? Maybe you're right about that, but this was just their previous.
I understand what you're saying, and I kind of agree with you. If they did something like this,
then what would have stopped you from picking this one before?
Well, because Phoenix told us specifically which one to get with the tutorial one.
Hey, you may be right.
Ho 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 ho!
So would the question then be picking the Payne here? Yes, it would. Yeah, that's right. So let's give it a shot.
Objection!
Yeah, that was it. You were right the whole time.
You're saying the victim's field of vision went dark right after he was struck, correct?
The problem was we were thinking about. Well, I was stuck on the fact that you were tutorialized and didn't have any darn control over that. We didn't point it out at the time, but every little bit of it, the game moved around the whole time.
Right.
So, well, didn't I say that it was something like 98.2% of the time the one that changes is the one that you have to focus on?
Right.
I didn't say 100 because it's not always like that.
That's true.
And it totally bit me this time.
Ha ha ha! It's because I haven't played so many Phoenix games.
Apparently so. What a strange skill you have brought to the table.
That's why there's two of us.
Of course, as anyone with eyes can see.
Like, my perception isn't tainted or tinted. My perception isn't tinted like
yes,
that.
I prefer tinted to tainted, you bastard, yes.
Well, pardon me, but I must disagree.
What?
Your benevolence, please take another look at the exact moment the victim felt pain.
Oh, this is just nitpicking.
It's what I do.
Oh.
Everything goes black, and then, only after that, the victim feels pain, as you can clearly see from this document I am holding, and not the scrying pool in the floor.
Oi. That isn't how this works. You let Phoenix have the animation that he's had
That's fair.
for
years.
Almost 20 years,
That's
considering
fair.
the game's original release on the Game Boy Advance.
I apologize.
Inconceivable.
This places the order of events at odds with what you say happened.
My God, you mean interpretations can be wrong? We don't know anything about that. My word.
Paul Kunka, pardon my French.
Joke on that stupid gag, you jerk!
Your benevolence, what is the meaning of this?
I cannot be wrong. My insights are beyond fallacy. Why, 14-year-old girls are never wrong about anything.
Maybe because no one's been around to challenge you.
No! The DCA has been around
20 years?
and she's
More
only
than she's
14.
been alive. Yeah.
She's never run into being challenged before.
If what the defense says is true, this is a very grave matter indeed.
Now it's time for Phoenix to be executed for being a heretic.
Please forgive me, your benevolence, but I have to I'm afraid this contradiction is something we simply can't ignore.
And this is good, because if they don't do this, then we'll hate the judge for the rest of the game.
Yeah!
At this, we see that, the judge is actually an honest man.
Yeah.
Now, let's not be too hasty, your majesty. I think I can clear this up.
You have something to add, Mr. Payne?
Yeah.
What evidence that you have withheld from the court?
1,000 apologies. It seems the prosecution has failed to make a tiny thing clear.
And that would be?
On the day of the incident, there was a power outage, a blackout in one part of the temple.
What?
And, as I recall, the crime scene was in that sector.
But you could still hear the song!
Dun 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 dun! The power outage must be why the victim's field of vision went dark.
So now you expect this little kid to not only be tall enough to whack the guy, but to do it when he can't see. Accurately.
Roll was clearly on the ground when Albie was over him. Like, as in he had already been hit. Because why would Roll be laying
He was on the stairs. Albie was on the stairs. Did you not notice that?
I guess I didn't.
Yeah, he was on the stairs.
That doesn't, however, change the fact that Roll was laying on the ground.
It didn't really look like it from his perspective, though. Like, shouldn't he have been able to see, like, his legs or something, or some part of his body if that was the case? Plus, the angle would be like more extreme, don't you think?
Okay, so here's the deal, right? Here's why maybe I'm fixated on this. So you're saying he was hit in the head with a blow that would kill him, and then he stood there while Albie walked up on the stairs, and then he fell down. No, that's what you're saying.
No.
I'm saying, and you look at this, if Albie was on the stairs there, okay, sure, that's fine, or somewhere, he's standing there talking. Why would Roll be standing after he's been hit? Otherwise, you're saying that Albie hit him and killed him.
He's looking up at Albie, who's on the stairs. Then Jesus Man comes from behind him.
What is different between...
And whacks him then, while he's looking up at Albie, who is on the stairs. That's why Albie yelled out, because Jesus Man came behind him and clonked him.
Okay.
And then he fell down backwards.
Okay, maybe so, but we don't have any evidence for that, which is why I wasn't really looking at it that way. I guess that would explain it, but that's like leaping forward before we've gotten anywhere.
Oh, that is a flaw of mine.
I didn't see the stairs. Maybe they were there.
Yeah, sorry.
There was somewhere I was going, but
I'm sorry.
That detail kind of just ended it. I apologize for neglecting to tell the court this detail. I'm afraid it slipped my mind. Whoopsie.
Or rather, you knew all along and are only letting it slip now that it's convenient, Payne.
Well, that's how the drama of these games works. The power outage knocked out both the lights and the speakers. Oh, there was a blackout there, was there? Well now, that explains everything, does it not?
Back to being smarmy. What do you mean, your benevolence? Please share your thoughts with us, if you would. I'm just a simple man.
The blackout occurred when the accused and the victim were faced with one another. Fearing the victim would flee under the cover of darkness, the accused swiftly brought his weapon down on the victim's head.
I see. That makes perfect sense, your benevolence. Time to pass a verdict.
So the victim was struck after the lights went out. The depth of your insight is awe-inspiring, your benevolence. Give her a hand, everyone.
Yay!
Oh, good, someone responded.
Yeah, they all responded. Hey, I want to live long and prosper too.
You're not a Vulcan, although this is pretty logical.
His ears look a little pointy.
It's the hair that's pointy, not his ears.
That's true.
Enough applause. You flatter me.
Now, your benevolence, in light of this new information, could you update your insight?
I will pass this... You know, I'm actually really starting to like the judge. He's not like, I will now pass a verdict for the 7th time.
He was earlier, but...
But instead,
yeah.
No, at this point, he's apparently gotten into it. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness.
Right?
Yes, of course. I will alter my insight. One can safely assume the accused struck the victim the moment after the blackout began. Well, I mean, we can, fix that with the obvious part of the speakers.
So much for my inconsistency. At least I was able to draw out some new info. And with new info comes a chance to find new inconsistencies.
Would you kill somebody right in front of someone else who's talking to him?
That's why I think maybe the Jesus guy has some kind of coercion over
I think you're just going way too far forward.
Maybe I am. Wouldn't be the first time I've done it. Now to compare the insights with the vision again and see what else I can dig up. But if he had been hit beforehand, wouldn't he already be feeling, pain? See stairs behind him, leading up into the darkness.
Okay. So, again, my chief point... Okay, first off, he is holding something above his head.
True.
I'm not saying he hit him and killed him, okay? It doesn't, look, you were talking about the angle. This does look like Roll is looking up at Albie. Doesn't it? Because...
I guess you're right. And at that, okay. No, I see what you're saying.
I mean, those stairs are indeed there, but he is looking up. Emulator. Buttons. So, it's look at the stairs there.
Yeah, okay,
Albie
no, I
would've-
see exactly what you're saying. All
Albie
right.
would have had to have been like at the top of a long flight of stairs for Roll to be looking at that, or he's looking up. I mean, look, we don't have the information.
Yeah. No, I see exactly where you're coming from.
It's just like Albie is above him.
Yeah.
But why then the pain right there?
Yeah, see, that's part of what made me think he hadn't already been hit, because he'd be feeling pain before then. You know what I mean?
And he was only hit the one time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Albie was surprised, but he did also start saying that he wasn't lying about not doing it. Look, that's the sort of thing that could happen, that the guy's actual killer was behind him, but Albie wasn't there. When we saw that scene, Roll fell, the box was on the ground, and then he was right there, and then he said, then I'll pin it on the kid.
Okay, yeah, that's true too.
There's just info we don't have. Anyway, enough of that.
Now let's focus on the inconsistency we know.
Now this one is going
This was really obvious.
Yeah. All right, you. There's just one little problem, huh?
The incense! Objection! Yes, I finally found it. This is the gaping hole I've been looking for.
I mean, we only identified it early.
Your benevolence, as impressive as your spirit communion power is, it's not infallible.
You never know when to stop talking, do you?
Not really.
And what's with that miserable voice of yours? I hope you realize your words are an insult to all adherents of Khura'inism.
This court is an insult to all adherents of Khura'inism.
Oh, it is.
Defense! Watch what you say! If you don't mind that tongue of yours, you won't have one left to mind.
Oi, what kind of a threat is that?
I thought it was pretty obvious. It's certainly not my intention to insult spirit mediums. Heaven forbid! But maybe I'm not the one who needs to learn when to stop talking.
What malarkey. Heavens to Betsy. Golly gee willikers, gosh.
I believe you said a few moments ago, ahem, that the victim could hear the song of ceremony thanks to the temple speakers.
I love those table pounds.
But then how do you explain how the victim could still hear the song of ceremony even after the power went out?
Oh!
This contradiction of facts can only mean that the song of ceremony Mr. Roll heard was not coming from the speakers.
What? Impossible!
What are you saying?
But batteries! There's a portable generator in there! I can't possibly be wrong!
That the song you heard was coming directly from the performance?
Oh yes, that's it!
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's the only possible explanation. But the scene of the crime was nowhere near the performance hall.
I see. He's expressing it like this. At first it was like, what? Where's he going with this? But...
Right. The song couldn't make it all the way to the treasure room. Not unless...
You mean to say...
Yes. The treasure room was not the actual scene of the crime.
He was going in a different direction than we thought.
Yeah. It must have been somewhere else. Somewhere closer to the performance hall.
Okay, so it really was the blackout, and it wasn't that the speakers had no power, it's that he was still hearing it even through the power outage, so he had to have heard it from that location. What?
You can't be serious. There is a glaring contradiction in the claims of her benevolence and the prosecution. Therefore, the defense insists that this case be thoroughly re-examined.
What? No.
This is completely unprecedented. An inconsistency in her benevolence's insights. Unbelievable!
And thus, the foundation of Khura'in's society has been shaken to the very core. Or you just shouldn't trust in people's infallibility.
Yeah.
Heed not his forked tongue, your majesty. These are but the claims of a corrupt lawyer. A feeble ruse from a feeble mind.
But the contradiction revealed by the defense is undeniable.
You quit picking on the judge, woman!
I can't. We can't. We can't just turn a blind eye to it.
Heroic judge!
Yeah!
You've never gotten one of these before! But the defense's assertion is in the end meaningless. Even if the location of the murder turned out to be different, it doesn't change what we've seen of the moments of the murder. Indeed, the accused is standing right there in front of the victim. Furthermore, the murder weapon remains raised above his head. My insights still stand.
I hate to admit it, but she's right. The seance vision still makes the situation look really grim for Albie.
I doubt even the defense can dream up an explanation as to why the accused had his hands up over his head. What, did he pop him with the little scroll?
Well, this defense dares to dream, take my alliteration, of making it out of this nightmare alive.
What? That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard!
Boy, buckle yourself in then.
You still insist on trying to tear down my insights, do you? You'd better be prepared to back up your claim.
I am always prepared to back up my claim or bluff profusely.
Remember what will happen to that tongue of yours if we find you are just wagging it.
Of course I can back up my claim, just as soon as I think of something. You appear to be fully prepared, defense. As the embodiment of this court, I give you permission to try and prove your claim.
Again, that's a big deal. The judge is even defying her benevolence.
I mean, ultimately, the judge is the authority in the courtroom.
That's true, and that's even what...
It's nice to see that that's still the case.
That's even what Rayfa just said.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like you said, it's nice to see that that's the case.
As long as you're willing to stake your life on it.
Like, this is an actual opportunity for, well, the spirit of justice, if you will. I concur, your majesty. Prepare the tongue shears. Chop, chop.
Chop, chop? Yes, let's have the bailiff fetch them. I think I saw a suitable pair in the basement. Chop, chop. Stop, stop.
I hear that lying lawyers have several tongues to spare.
I want to make a Genocide Jill joke, but I just can't bring myself to do it.
I'm sure he won't miss one.
Yikes! These people are actually serious!
Yikes! What malarkey, heavens to Betsy!
I'm rather attached to my tongue. Think, Phoenix! Think! Other than to raise a weapon, why would Albie have his hands up like that if the guard was pointing a gun at him? Maybe asking him where he is.
How many more people are you trying to place at this scene?
No, if he was pointing his gun at Albie because Albie was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. He's a guard, remember? And security is tightened.
But would he be pointing his gun at him besides? Look at this. His gun is in its holster.
But he got moved from the scene of the crime. We just established the murder took place elsewhere, which means that the body has been tampered with.
Well, I mean, that's true.
I mean, he looked scared and he had his hands up. That's a possibility. That's all I'm saying. Aha! So that's why.
But why would he point the gun at him?
The reason the defendant had his hands up over his head can be explained by something in the crime photo. What explains why Albie had his hands raised above his head?
What explained why? Well, it is this.
Take that! As in the seance vision, I witnessed the defendant raise both of his hands over his head yesterday. You did? Where did you see such a thing? When the police had their guns trained on him as they made their arrest. Oh, are you saying? The victim was a security guard, and an armed one at that. The defense proposes that the victim had pointed his firearm at Albie, and that's why the defendant's hands were raised in the air. Bam!
Who would have thought the seance vision could be interpreted that way? This is not possible. It can't be.
Not bad for a total knockout.
How dare that lawyer devil go against her benevolence?
He's no better than that traitorous snake, Dirk. Traitorous snake? Dirk? Who's that? Oh, probably not someone I need to worry about right now.
Just plants it in our heads for later. Man, Alby's got a lot of stuff to talk about then.
Right?
No, I can't believe it. A contradiction in one of my insights? There has to be some kind of mistake. I won't accept it. That's right, Your Benevolence, and I won't accept it either. It goes against all we hold sacred. Throw him in jail immediately for lèse majesté.
What? Yeah, you said it!
Throw him in jail!
Yeah, make him pay for the way he disrespected her benevolence. Get those tongue shears. These people are definitely not my fans right now.
That's going to be ridiculous if you actually just called precisely what it all was.
I mean, what if the power went out and Alby ran? And so he didn't witness what happened because the power was out. Remember, it was all dark.
Dude, calm down. I know you think you're on a roll, but...
Peace! Give me peace! I said peace! Now, everyone, please calm down.
It's funny how I said the exact same thing. No, it's like this. Albie had his hands up, right? And Roll was pointing his gun at him. It was in the dark, and I don't know what the layout of the place is, so I couldn't begin to say where he was or why it was that the other monk needed to kill him, okay? And so I guess it isn't... He did say he was going to have the kid take the blame for it. I mean, that's reasonable to assume that he's, like, in charge of the training. Okay, that's fine. Or, like, Albie's training at the very least, because he's a monk in training, okay? But Albie is sitting there, or is standing there on some stairs with his hands up. The pain happened. Then there's the blackout. All right, there wasn't a blackout before then. And then whack, the guy hits him right after the blackout.
Yes.
Okay? So Albie saw it. I understand it's a blackout, but he was right there. He's like right in front of him. So how could so you said Albie just ran away. Why? What does it have to do with anything?
Light goes out. He hears a whack. He gets scared.
3 feet in front of him.
Yeah, but the light goes out like that. Your eyes aren't going to adjust that quick to the dark.
Okay, so how then did the monk just magically appear out of nowhere?
Well, like you said, we don't know.
It's somebody
the
that he
layout.
knows. I just think it's going way too far forward.
Is he?
Your Majesty, please assign this black-hearted attorney a suitable punishment.
No, I can't charge him with lèse majesté. I don't even know what that means.
Offending the monarch.
Oh, I see.
What? What? But why not, Your Majesty?
He was simply following the proper procedure for defending the accused.
Good job, Judge!
I like this, Judge. There's nothing unlawful about that.
But Your Majesty, don't you want to wrap this trial up quickly? Why not just give your verdict? And then you can go home and make it up to your wife.
Are you kidding? Telling her about this day will be more than welcome. We can't end the trial now, not when we just learned new information about the case.
What? Your Majesty, not you too. You would honestly entertain the idea that my insight contains a contradiction?
There's already been several pointed out. I don't understand what you expect from me.
I mean, clearly Rayfa is going to be one of the game's, presumably main characters, but presumably one of the main antagonists. Because at present, she's just way too full of herself.
Yeah. Truly. It is shocking. In the 20-plus years since the DC Act went into effect, such a thing has never occurred because we killed all the defense lawyers off. To be honest, I didn't want to believe it either. But with his life on the line, the defense pointed out an inconsistency. And it is our duty to scrutinize it to the satisfaction of the law.
You dare go against a royal priestess, you non-believer!
Oh, doesn't even waver. No, my faith is as strong as ever.
Isn't this kind of the situation I laid out before?
Kind of, yeah. But I have a duty to make a fair ruling in this trial. 20 years has not dampened my thirst for justice.
Apparently!
If you insist on interfering with that process, Your Benevolence...
You gonna threaten her, huh?
I'm afraid I must request your removal from this courtroom, royal priestess or not. BAM!
What? I'll have you know...
Your benevolence! Please acquiesce in this, your benevolence. If looks could kill.
Then she's one of the masters of it. I won't forget this offense, barbed head. I see now why Prosecutor Payne hates you so. I do not admit defeat. I won't.
Bailiff, please see her benevolence out.
Your Mitama will face due retribution in the Twilight Realm. The demons there they'll pluck the barbs right off your stupid head.
So the demons will give me a haircut.
I hope your suffering will be super duper painful, darn it!
She's got some really nice lines.
and I hope they throw you into a lake of burning fire, yeah, and then you big meanie!
It's clear she's 14. I guess she's still just a teenager after all. Now then, defense. Mr. Light, was it?
That's fairly close, yes.
Yeah. That's right, Your Majesty. Ah, so it is Light. No, that's not what I meant. Phoenix Wright. Of course, Mr. Wright. My apologies. Well, now that we have this newly uncovered fact, I suggest we proceed with arguments. Thank you, Your Majesty. Yes, but do not misunderstand me. This doesn't mean I trust you completely. I'll be keeping a close eye on you, so don't even think about lying to this court. I understand, Your Majesty. Whew! Maybe now we can finally run a real trial.
Arguments, Your Majesty. Very well. I accept your challenge.
Huh? What's with him?
Oh, the look on your face, Mr. Wright. It's just too hilarious.
You're not a looker either, buddy. What's so funny, Mr. Payne?
My hair!
Besides that...
The defense still doesn't get it. The truth he unearthed is going to bury him in his case instead.
What do you mean by that, prosecutor?
Okay, so the growing number of thefts, that would explain why he'd be more likely to pull out his gun. It's just, when it's his buddy, but this way there's actually something to worry about. All the hallway shutters.
We need to know what those hallway shutters are.
Yeah, well, we'll end up with a map of the place, I'm sure.
It briefly flashed one, but it didn't add it to...
Yeah, we don't have it. We don't have it in the record yet.
Right.
It is true there's no blood around.
Yeah! There should be blood pooling around his head,
Albie was there preparing his tour for Phoenix,
He
right?
said he was in the hallway preparing his tour. On the plus side, this one doesn't seem to be as straightforward as the first ones usually are.
In investigations, the first trials are, really convoluted. The things that we would have to deal with, evil ninja Jesus monk, appearing, melting out of the darkness without anyone seeing him.
Yeah, we definitely need to address that.
I mean, that's why I'm pushing it. Okay, so let's say he's standing right behind Roll. All right. The hell's he gonna kill him right in front of somebody for? I mean, that's apparently what happened, but I just find that so hard to believe. He knows that Albie is standing in front of him. That has to be the case because he was,
or he wouldn't be able to blame him.
Because Roll was killed right there.
Yeah.
Okay, but remember when we saw that scene in the beginning, Albie wasn't there.
Right.
Okay, so if Roll was pointing his gun at Albie, blackout or not, a few feet away in front of you, you see your friend sees you. The blackout hasn't happened yet.
Right.
And he's presumably not in a place that's bad. Maybe he is in a place that's bad. We don't know. Okay, but we know it's not the treasure room, which nobody's supposed to go in except for Roll.
Right.
So they've just established that, right? So Roll sees his friend.
Yeah.
Not in a place he's not necessarily supposed to be. Pulls his gun on his friend in a place where Albie is doing his job. But at the same time, this monk is just standing behind him. Okay?
Okay,
And Albie,
yeah, I
you know,
gotcha.
because the monk is talking to Roll or whatever. Roll pulls his gun on his friend and the guy who's standing behind him, student, even though the kid isn't in a place where he's supposed to be. And then, and they can't be that far from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like, Roll couldn't even see Albie's hands. So he's very close. He's like right up on top of Albie, right?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't even see his hands, and he is looking up at him. Okay? So then it blacks out, and
Then whack.
within 2 seconds, the monk, who's apparently carrying... Well, he can't be carrying the treasure box. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Because
he's not supposed to. Nobody... That's the thing that Roll would be guarding against. Okay?
Yeah, you're right.
So then the guy immediately, right in front of Albie, whacks him... As the 2 seconds after he goes out, whacks him with the treasure box he's not supposed to be carrying.
Okay.
It is possible that these things could happen, but at present...
There isn't anything that points to it.
At present, there is so much stuff that seems wrong.
Well, that's why I throw out these ideas so you can pick them apart.
Well, you know, you shoot often enough, and occasionally, like, your shots will hit. It certainly happened to you before.
I did call the being held up.
Right, you did. I mean, you've gotten a lot of really specific stuff right. I told you, it's Chief Prosecutor!
I think you mean Chief Payne.
The thing is I just want more evidence to point towards something.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's the point to focus on right now.
The defense is digging its own grave. Consider this, your majesty. Why would the victim, a security guard, point a gun at the accused? Yes, Payne is making my arguments, but that's always how this goes, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, indeed!
don't mock me.
Because the accused was about to commit a theft.
Bling!
It's the only logical explanation. The one thing we know that Albie was holding at some point was this notice.
And he has seen the box.
That is true, even though he's not supposed to. And,
Right.
you know, maybe him being a thief is one thing, but stealing the Founder's Orb, that
Right.
doesn't seem...
He seems to be far too into the religion.
Yeah, and why would he do that? And because he genuinely cares and
Yeah.
genuinely believes. So I'm sure there is so much more going on that that's why I don't want to move. That's
Fair
why
enough,
I'm
fair enough.
sticking it like that. Because we don't even have a hint of anything.
What?
That does sound pretty logical, actually.
It doesn't help the accused situation at all. In fact, Albie is probably the person who has been committing all those thefts.
Yeah.
If anything, it makes him look even more guilty.
No, that's leaping too far ahead. Never mind.
Yes, I have to agree.
Allow me to spell out this truth the defense didn't bother to think through. Mr. Roll came across the accused just as he was trying to steal the treasure. The guard pointed his gun at the accused, and just when the power went out, the accused murdered the victim and hid his body in the treasure room.
So now they expect us to believe that this kid can drag this adult body. These people just don't understand simple physics.
A hand truck for moving heavy treasure around is stored in the treasure room.
Touché.
There is that. The accused could have easily moved the body with that.
I suppose I had that coming. And after all that hard work to knock down those insights, backed into the old familiar corner once more.
I love it here.
It's so cozy. Mr. Wright, do you have a rebuttal? Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm drawing a total blank here.
I hope you're ready to climb that scaffold.
I asked you a question, defense.
I've got nothing. I can't think of any grounds for an objection. The only thing to do at this point is ask the defendant himself what happened. But I don't know if Albie will cooperate with me or not.
Yeah, having the defendant take the stand could be good, or it could be really bad.
Albie? Will you tell us what really happened?
Well, the truth is really embarrassing, so... You don't have to say anything, accused. Fall for his evil trap, and you'll only dirty your own soul. Zuba, Zuba.
Albie, you have to tell me the truth. I can't help you unless you do.
I mean, we know he's a money grubber because he's trying to help his family.
What if he was... Well, the thing that I said might be reaching too far. What if he's working with Jesus, man?
It's possible that he is. I don't necessarily think that that's reaching too far.
Okay.
But it's like murder is a step too far, especially of his friend.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's got this suspicious bag full of all manner of things.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, the evil ninja Jesus monk is clearly... Is clearly in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
It's like somebody who's over Albie, I get. Well, not necessarily.
But if he's been helping or hiring Albie to help him with thefts, that would explain why he would know him so well.
I don't know. It'd be easier to influence him rather than say hiring. Or something like that. But anyway, so due to the growing number of thefts. Well, I mean, again, that's probably this kid running around who's a tour guide. I mean,
and a monk in training.
That's potentially the case.
Right.
I think there's enough reason to be suspicious of it. I mean, remember what he's here standing accused of.
And he's also being really reticent about it.
Reticent.
Reticent. That word.
But it's again, it's like the Founder's Orb that's just going too far.
Okay. Yeah.
Like there's no way that somebody could have wandered around with that.
Yeah.
But there's only the one guard, so I guess
that's
as
so
soon as
strange.
the guard had been gotten rid of, evil ninja Jesus monk could take it then.
Maybe he told Albie he wanted him to distract the guard so he could nab something. But didn't tell him all the details?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry.
Why? Why won't he trust me? Is this it? Is this the end? For both of us? Maya, I'm sorry.
I never met a real lawyer before. Everybody always told me they're bad people who help dirty criminals go free. I never thought a lawyer would actually try to help me, would actually believe in me, would risk his own life for me. I never would have even imagined it.
Albie!
So, that's why I lied, to try and save myself. But I'm not going to lie anymore.
Yes!
If you believe in me enough to put your life on the line, then I'm going to believe in you too!
Yes!
What? Allow me to explain! For 20 damas.
I'll pay that price! Now we're talking. Time to finally get to the bottom of things.
To be honest, I went into the treasure room lots of times to look at the treasure box. I don't know. I was thinking about accusing Albie of the thefts. But maybe it's that monk who's doing all the thefts. Albie's too devout and devoted to everybody and everything here. Even if he wants money for his family, is he going to be robbing this place?
I don't think so. Especially not the Founder Orb. Like the sparkle in it.
No. I think that's pretty fair to establish. But I mean, the other thefts.
Yeah, I don't think he would.
Too many things here. But it's also true that, the most likely thief at a place, at any sort of place, is the place's employees and staff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Didn't the monk sort of mention his sins plural?
Well, yeah, but he just killed somebody. That's not really anything to worry about.
Well, yeah.
You wouldn't be like, well, now that I've murdered somebody, let me begin to think about the petty thefts and evils that I have done.
Even though the temple told you weren't allowed to go anywhere near it? Youth these days.
Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Roll even saw me once and scolded me. But that box is so beautiful, the way it glows in the dark. I couldn't help myself.
Glows in the dark, you say? Wait, it glows in the dark?
That's right. It's covered in this special mineral called fluorinite that makes it glow. It's absolutely breathtaking. It's really a shame they don't put it on display for the public. Can you imagine how many people would go on night tours of the temple if they did?
If only he applied such passion to telling me the truth earlier.
Well, fluorinite, is it? Yeah, the more I think about it... Okay, so that's gotta be it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Roll could not have known that evil ninja Jesus monk was
Storeroom.
there because he couldn't have... Well, there's the stairs where Albie is right there, so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Roll could not have known that the monk was behind him,
Right.
because if he did, he would have been like, why do you have the treasure?
Right.
Like I'd said earlier, but I wanted to point that out again.
Gotcha, gotcha.
That's why he's the evil ninja Jesus monk.
But he could have hid in the storeroom, which is on the same floor as the treasure room.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Well, if the guard's in the treasure room...
I don't see why you're wrong. Well, no, he'd be patrolling, right? I mean, it's not like welcome to Corneria, I like swords here.
I suppose you're correct. All right. Well, at least the storeroom is a place he could conceivably hide.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I just don't think that... I mean, of course it is. I just don't think that changes anything. That's all I mean.
Gotcha.
Because that means that what would have happened is while Albie was there and while Roll was pointing his gun at Albie, he's like,
He
I
snuck
shall
out,
use my
right?
ninja power! He's still carrying the treasure, except he's in the storeroom and not the treasure room, meaning that the treasure isn't even in the treasure room. He bursts out of the storeroom, charges it, screaming at the top of his lungs, or maybe not that part, at Roll, who's pointing a gun at Albie, and Albie knows him, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, knows this monk, and then he runs up and is like, holds the stolen treasure up, and is like, and like swings it, and then like as he's swinging it, there's a blackout, and then he pongs Roll. That just makes it more preposterous.
Yeah, I guess you're right, especially when you describe it like that.
Now, my description may have added some extra color. That's probably not true.
No, that's my headcanon now.
But all that is wrong! Very possibly the hiding in the storeroom is part of it, but we just need another piece of detail.
Yeah.
Which, fortunately...
We're about to get.
On the day of the incident, I was on my way to the treasure room again, when I ran into Mr. Roll on the Great Stairs.
So those were not the treasure room stairs in the seance vision?
I'm not entirely sure why I lied about that. Well, I am, I guess. No, they were the Great Stairs that connect to the hallway.
Because if he was holding the idol above his head, it would be glowing green on him. Makes sense. The vision wasn't clear enough to show us what was at the top of the stairs.
No, yeah, so... even more of a reason that the ninja guy couldn't pop up from behind him with the glowing green treasure. Blackout or not, of course Albie would have seen him. Because the guy's killing him with the glowing green box! You see a dude you know and who's your teacher holding a glowing green box and murdering your friend, and the glowing green box... It belongs to the... It's like the most holy treasure of your religion.
You just crushed my theory. Are you happy?
I'm still expecting that's what happened.
Oh, thank God.
All of a sudden, Mr. Roll drew his gun and threatened me with it. Well, I mean, there's another possibility.
That Roll was stealing it?
But still, why would he get murdered right in front of Albie then? I quickly put my hands up. Mr. Roll, he acted so scary. For some reason, he had his scarf over his mouth. I saw that myself. But just thought it would be part of like the evil bad guy bailiff uniform, you know?
Right.
I couldn't read his expression at all. Okay, now that would actually explain why he was pointing his gun at Albie, because he was part of it.
Yeah.
That finally deals with the ninja part.
Because Roll also was having money problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he needs the thing stolen. Like maybe he's the person who did the other thefts.
He'd be in the perfect spot for it.
Just like what I said, the person who's most likely to do the stealing is...
an employee or someone on the inside.
And that would actually allow for evil Nisus Ginger Monk
Nisus Ginger Monk!
to be behind him with
Yeah.
the glowing green box, because if they're working together.
Well, it wouldn't be glowing till the lights went out, but yeah.
Well, right. So it's like it was swung and then the lights went out and then well, it probably still would have been glowing.
Yeah, once the lights went out, it would have glowed.
Well, why would it not have glowed?
Because it only glows in the dark. I mean, we've seen a picture of the casing and it wasn't glowing because it was light.
Point taken.
I
Point
mean-
taken. Point taken. Point taken. Just then, the power went out. So I took that chance to hightail it out of there.
Oh!
What? I ran for my life. Even now, when I try to think back on it.
Especially if one of his friends is acting so scary and intimidating.
See, the thing that I was always so frustrated about is when you see your buddy and he pulls a gun on you, well, it's like, why are you going to run away screaming? But the information of...
He was acting
but
scary.
he was acting scary.
Yeah.
That's different.
Because we thought he was kind of doing his job or something.
Because I was like, why would you pull a gun on your friend? But there were other circumstances, so that makes that plausible.
Yep.
All I can remember are the gun and the piercing look in Mr. Roll's eyes. That must have been when I dropped the notice scroll.
Which means someone else brought it to the treasure room along with Mr. Roll's body.
Of course, trying to plant Albie's fingerprints.
Yeah.
Not his fingertips. That'd be pretty terrible.
Well, we've got scissors for those too.
Did Mr. Roll say anything to you when you ran into him on the stairs? What is it, Albie?
I have no idea why, but he asked me a strange question. Did you steal it? He said.
Okay.
So it was already stolen.
Okay. So, evil ninja Jesus man,
Monk.
steals it, hides in the storeroom, so he naturally runs out and tries to go up the stairs where he runs into Albie. The lights go out, Albie runs away in a panic, and then Ninja Jesus evil monk man from space, Ninja Jesus, is like, what's up?
You forgot Nisus Ginger.
Nisus Ginger, yes. Just is like, what's up? And like...
What, he pitches it like a baseball?
No. I mean, like, ninja Jesus is up, and then just like...
I have no idea what's going on.
Bumps him over the dead.
Okay, but you're... Okay, so we saw from the insights that the light went out and then the Payne.
Yeah.
So that means the light went out, and so without seeing the glowing green and the ninja... And I don't even know. And the monk, without seeing the glowing green monk,
Yeah.
within a microsecond, Albie turns around and blitzes off, and then in the 1.9 seconds remaining, that's when Nisus Ginger like barrels out of the storeroom with the glowing green thing.
Well, now it's also possible that might not be the murder weapon. I mean, that's what everything looks like, yes.
But dude wasn't carrying... I mean, okay,
I'm just saying.
That's right. But we have to go with what we have until we find more.
I know.
Anyway, this also turns what we just did around.
What?
I'm sorry I didn't say all this before. I didn't think anybody would believe me. A grand speech? One that confirmed my suspicions that you were the thief! It's amazing how I can flex my hair, huh?
With the kind... Objection! But that might have just been the victim's misunderstanding.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. The victim must have had good reason to be suspicious of the accused.
Why does every new piece of information have to seem so incriminating?
Shadow. What do I do, Shadow?
Are you asking the shadows for help?
And what better reason to suspect the boy than seeing the treasure box in his hands? But, I mean, glows in the dark, bam.
Yeah.
In the course of his rounds, the victim must have noticed that the treasure had been stolen. And then, just after that, He put his scarf up on his face, put an
Yeah.
evil, piercing look in his eyes,
That's still suspicious.
and accused children.
That scarf makes him seem really suspicious.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have any reason to try and hide his face like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran into the accused. I'll be your guide. No, that's not what happened. Therefore, the one who stole the treasure and killed the victim can be none other than the accused.
Oh! Is that like a Flareon or something?
That does look like an Eevee variant.
Payne's surprised.
What now?
It is adorable. That's
So
Shadow.
that's Shadow. Shadow, I guess. Now, note the soul fireball on his face. Those ridiculously stupid, cute eyebrows. And since Albi's top knot can no longer be fully erect, Shadow's tail is sticking straight up.
That's awesome.
And so that's why it was so
Moving.
heavy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And moving, yeah. Hey, Shadow, down boy.
That's a really well-trained dog. Didn't eat any of the buns.
Oh, maybe there's a reason for that.
Well, what do we have here? It's a puppy dog.
I'm sorry about this. This is my dog, Shadow. Oh,
You nearly gave me a heart attack.
a heart attack of cuteness. That's a pretty adorable dog.
Yeah.
So that's what was making his bag move.
Can't you quiet that yappy mutt down?
Well, I'm trying to quiet you down, Mr. Payne, but...
Shadow says that Mr. Roll made a mistake. He does? Does he now?
Is that so? Okay.
At this point, the talking animals in courtrooms stick of Phoenix Wright is actually beginning to become like a trope. I think we're good. We don't need any more.
Okay. You can understand him?
Don't tell me this is a surprise witness for the defense.
I've interviewed worse.
Well,
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Wright, are you going to cross-examine the dog? I've heard all kinds of fun rumors.
I'll cross-examine his bag if I have to.
You're not thinking of cross-examining an animal, are you?
Of course not, Your Majesty!
Not this time, anyway. Whew. Well, I'm glad to hear that. All that respect I had for you is about to go out the window. I thought I'd have to reassess my assessment of your sanity for a second there.
Hold on now, Your Majesty. Let me speak to you of a few things that have happened in the past.
I think I'd better reassess my strategy, and fast. I have to somehow show that somebody else could have struck the victim, or were sunk.
No, that's pretty easy.
While it's true that the defendant was standing in front of the victim when he died, it doesn't mean somebody else couldn't have struck him at that time.
If you're going to go that far, then I hope this means you have another angle of approach ready.
Exactly! I mean, who but the accused, standing front and center, could have done it? Unless you can back up your claim, it's nothing more than conjecture, Zuba.
Okay, come on, Phoenix. I know I can think of something convincing. Where else could the victim have been struck from? From behind him, obviously.
This is not challenging.
Take that! With the defendant standing in front of the victim, isn't it possible that the victim could have been struck from behind?
From behind, you say?
Madness!
I see.
It could never happen!
Yes, I suppose it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Good. Now at least I have some breathing room.
But who do you suppose it could have been?
Oh, the true culprit, naturally. The one who actually committed the theft and murder.
The true culprit? And I suppose you have a true timeline of events to go along with that.
Well, not yet.
I should have known I'd have to explain everything. All right. If we assume the true culprit struck the victim from behind, then that means...
Right.
Yeah.
After going to the treasure room and stealing the treasure, the true culprit tried to escape.
So this is when Roll came down and he
Yes.
goes to hide in the storeroom.
Yes.
And that's when Roll then goes over and notices that it's been stolen.
Yes, and then quickly tries to leave.
My God, it really is the ninja with the tongue flapping about, foaming at the mouth, eyes like rolled back in his head, moving
Yeah, I
25
guess so.
feet. With like maybe he's hiding it behind his back.
I guess so.
And since he's a ninja, after all, he can move very fast and very quiet, and can somehow hide the glowing. Well, it's
not glowing yet.
not glowing yet. And then he like silently appears behind Roll. Albie still doesn't see him.
Now he could
Somehow
have moved
because
up to the corner.
because he's invincible
Yeah.
or invisible. Okay, so he moves to the corner. So he advances 10 feet and still has 15 feet to go. I mean, it's true that 15 feet is more plausible than 25, but we're talking about a sliding scale here.
But then Mr. Roll appeared, making his rounds. I imagine the culprit then quickly hid in the storeroom at the other end of the hallway.
You're grasping at straws, Mr. Wright. Admit it. You have nothing but baseless conjecture.
I'm going to look for something to base it on right now.
He's just talking at or figuring it out as he goes,
Yeah.
which is, of course, his specialty.
Albie, when you ran into Mr. Roll in the hallway, was there anyone around the storeroom area? Oh!
How the heck should I know? But boy, isn't my doggy cute?
Brr.
There might have been somebody there, but I couldn't see. I was only halfway down the stairs, so I couldn't see the ends of that hallway.
Mm-hmm. I see. Swing and a miss. Ah, well.
Oh! Oh, Shadow says that someone was there.
I see. Thank you for that. Too bad his testimony is inadmissible.
You think this is a joke? Maybe the defendant didn't happen to see this other person. But that doesn't mean the true culprit couldn't have been there in the hallway.
Your desperate floundering is getting hard to watch.
I thought that's what you wanted.
But I will enjoy watching you sink.
What are you talking about this time?
Unfortunately for you, only the accused and the victim were there in that hallway at the time of the incident.
How can you continue to make that assertion?
Because there was a witness. A very reliable eyewitness who, true to the spirit of the Ace Attorney series, is most definitely not the true killer. Do you understand?
Ah, I see. What?
Your Majesty, the prosecution would like to call its witness to the stand. Thinking about it, why did I actually bother putting forth witnesses, considering the justice system here? Oh well, old habits are hard to break.
Calling an eyewitness to the stand. It's been decades since that's happened.
That's what I was about to say. If
Well, at least he's like, at least Payne is still a prosecutor.
well, the thing is they may be doofy, okay, the Payne brothers, but they aren't criminals. They aren't bad people. They really are. They really do their job.
Yeah.
They really are prosecutors.
Yeah.
And unlike the defense's witness, you can rest assured that there are no pets involved.
Oh, but I like those.
That was a low blow, but I deserved it.
Oh!
Very well, I'll allow it. And now, for something we've not heard in quite some time, bring the witness to the stand!
Oh, scandalous! Heavens to Betsy! What malarkey? Nice loot, dude.
I think that's a sitar.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Excuse me!
Understanding. Hold on. Understanding.
And his stand-in. pees'lubn.
And his stand-in.
Yes! Yes!
Okay. So in that case...
pees'lubn and a stand-in's the name. I'm like Temple's head monk. Can you dig? The occult is groovy.
Oh, if it isn't instructor and a stand-in, you're the eyewitness?
Instructor?
Not only is Mr. Understanding Temple's head monk, but he's also a renowned Damalon expert.
Sorry to have to ask, but what's the Damalon?
That doesn't answer my question.
Check it! Here she is, my sweet serenader. My one and only. Groovy, right?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, but you heard our sultry sounds once before, brother. Oh!
You want to try and sing?
No.
When dragon and tiger battle.
Ow!
That's the song from the Dance of Devotion. Right on, brother. The Song of Ceremony.
Huh. When the butterfly embraces the mitama, the favor of the orb is bestowed. I wonder if that has something to do with this. Excellent.
Playing this tune together is a precious gig for me and my girl here. You dig? The Song of Ceremony. The song that was playing at the time of the murder.
Oh man, I can't remember the name, but the rapper from Dual Destinies. Oh, he was glorious.
Oh, Holy Mother.
Is he about to fire a Kikoho?
No, they all do that.
Yeah, but that's way more specific.
May the righteous sounds of my Damalon serve as my offering to you.
And the Magatama
Oh,
necklace
yeah.
is like right in the center.
Yeah.
He is about to fire some kind of a beam. He is totally gonna fire a
He's facing the
beam.
judge, so it's fine. Wonderful. A great performance, as always.
This is my thing, you know. My bag. I make instruments speak, baby.
Okay, we got talking dogs, now we have talking sitars. Alright? Like, what else is gonna talk around here? The spirits of the dead?
Yeah!
I love it.
By the by, Magistry Pops. No Damalon class today. Oh, that's what it was!
No, I'm afraid this trial has gone into overtime. Thanks to the lawyer over there.
The what?
The class the judge wanted to attend was a Damalon lesson.
With this guy.
Well, you know what they say, baby. Never trust the lawyer, man. Hapriki!
Happy Kikoho!
But transgressors against the Holy Mother have to be brought to justice.
And stuff. Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Understanding. As the treasure's keeper,
Well,
you must have been shocked to learn it had been stolen. Well, that's a pretty interesting piece of information, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, man. That was not cool. Keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, Mr. Understanding. That's right, brother. This here's the one and only treasure box key.
Oh, you know what we never did?
What did we never do? Oh, hey, yeah.
Oh, he's 35.
That's
think it's
36.
Or 36.
What the heck, man? That's like that one time from Danganronpa that, like, Kyoko got the times wrong. Oh, I see.
Interesting. And I keep it on me at all times. Can you dig? That just makes me kind of suspicious, since how could this kid open it? But the sneaky thief went and cracked open that sucker anyway. Total bummer, man.
Can you say that one more time so I can enter it into my court record?
But that sneaky thief went and cracked open that sucker anyway. Total bummer, man.
That wasn't the response I was expecting. Okay.
So that's the key to the treasure box, is it? You know it, baby. It's called the Magatama key. Is anyone surprised? And it's a historical artifact to boot.
It also looks like a green Final Fantasy staff.
It does, yeah. It's been passed down from head monk to head monk at Temple. The Magatama key, huh? I feel I'm going to get sick of that before my journey is over.
Oh, thank you very much for actually doing what I wanted you to do. I mean, now we know the next thing that we can hit.
And now someone's jacked the treasure. On my watch. It's a real buzzkill, man. How am I ever gonna face her holiness again? Oh, Holy Mother, please find it in your infinite mercy to forgive me. Please guide this lost and humble lamb.
You got a lot more that you're gonna need to be forgiven for, bucko.
Why do I always get the far out ones?
It's your fate. It's your fate, Mr. Wright. Mr. Understanding, you witnessed the accused and the victim heading to the treasure room?
You know it, baby. Best believe I scoped that tiny transgressor.
Tiny transgressor?
Would you please give the court your testimony regarding what you saw?
I wonder what his breakdown's gonna be.
Probably like the sitar, like string snapping and that sort of thing.
Maybe him wielding it like an axe?
To bring justice against the transgressor, man. Yes, of course. I'll do all I can.
Next time! And stuff.
Peace out, baby.